new relation among Congress and the presidency, the executive branch and the Congress, the legislative branch. It's this new relation. There is a new topic which is called initiative preference, which it's like emergency legislation, such as in Brazil. Do you agree that that's a good instrument of government? That's a way of allowing in better communication, a better communication system among powers?
Well, that's, I think, is the equivalent of legislative decrees in parliamentary systems. So these are laws that are enacted by the government, but after 3 or 6 months, they have to be approved by Parliament.
Right.
So under this condition, it's not easy to win, really. I mean, you have the decree, but in Italy, for instance, it's 3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
What happens
and then it has to be confirmed by a parliamentary vote.
By the end of that 3 months, what happens if you don't agree? You don't have an agreement. You don't have legislative
You just go back to where you were. You just go back to the legislation that had been rejected by this referendum.
But it's a way of
popular initiative.
It's a way of trying to incentive the production of the legislative branch.
Certainly, but you know, we are speaking of countries which have 100 million people.
Mm-hmm.
In Monaco, not in Bayern, but
it's a small principado.
In a small principado, I think this would work very well. But if you have to mobilize and to convince, let's say, 30, 40, 50 million people, that's an enormous amount. So the larger the country, the more. Switzerland does very well because it's so small. And so consensual, and then the limits of what referendums can do or not do are well established. So, but the real point is that I have a few thousand elect voters, so that's easy to do. You could do it. I'm too old by now.
You once wrote in one of your books, que es la Democracia, that by definition you are a pessimistic man, but in regard with the Mexican democracy you are optimistic. Are you still optimistic?
Well, you know, I hate to contradict myself, so I still remain hopeful. I don't want to say that I was wrong. There is still hope in my mind.
You think that the reforms that have been passed through are good reforms and that we are...
No, I think that you have a basic structure which is a good structure, and that with those 4 or 5 changes that I suggest in my book, in the appendix of my Ingeniería Constitucional book, I think the Mexican system could be really the model of all future presidential systems in Latin America. Because Brazil has done well with Lula, and now probably with his successor. But Brazil has had a horrendous time in handling its problems constitutionally. And every president before them had really to buy votes in Parliament to get things done. So it was a very bad system. Now maybe these too successful. If the new president will be equally successful, they may be able to push forward reforms that impede deputies, members of parliament in Brazil could change a party every 5 days.
That's terrible.
So that has to be, and all the votes that I mean, when the president wanted a vote in his favor, he had to pay for it. I mean, pay in benefits, not necessarily in money. So we'll see with Brazil now, which is the best case. Naturally, Chile has always functioned quite well. Because it has always had a European type parliamentary system.
It's a presidential system, isn't it?
Yes, no, but I mean the whole. It's a presidential system, but with a background of parliamentary experience, and I mean the Germans. The Germans. Oh, important.
The political class.
Class is still of German origins, you know. It was colonized by Germans. And this is why they always had a political system comparable to European ones in spite of presidentialism.
Professore, molte grazie.
I'm delighted. Now the next thing is that you should be able to push forward the sensible reforms that I propose in your country.
We'll do it.
Good.
Grazie, professore.
Good.